sweet potato digestives. I'll have one of them. A couple of cakes in there, mate. What up, YouTubers? CarJunkeez in the house yet again, and this one is part 8 of the Mk1 transit build. If you've not seen the others, check them out on my playlist on CarJunkeez YouTube. So I've just stripped down the pedal box, took the pedals out and everything, and took all the master cylinder off, and just give it a bit of a rust treatment. So I'll let that go off before painting it. So I just sprayed the bracket for the servo and that little bracket what I've made for the bottom of the steering column. Painted all the pedal box up just in like a satin black, and the pedals as well. So got some new bushes there which I'm going to chuck in for the pedals, so I'll chuck them in and put all that back together, and then I'll put the bracket back on the servo there for the right hand drive, them brackets, and then I'm going to put one of these Mounties on it. I've got a few Mountie steering wheels knocking about, but they're all 36 splines, so I've got this 48 spline. Just got to put that on it. So yeah, that's come today, so I'll get that chucked on it. The bracket's on the servo, the really rare bracket. Built up the pedal box and steering column, put the clutch master cylinder back on. Put the brake switch on, then the return spring. The boss fits, which is good news, the 48 spline boss, so just test fitted that, so I'll put that on that mounted wheel now, and then I'll get all this lot fitted. So that's the pedal box and the steering column on. It's fitting in nicely, that, all good. And then under the bonnet, I've put that bracket on which I've made. Nice and sturdy now, that. And they've even got that little rubber seal, which is off the original transit. That fits perfect, so I've got that on as well. So now I'm just going to put the servo on now. So that's all the servo, all on, fits perfect. It's on the pedal, all good as well. So, and that's all nipped up tight. So next, I'll put the steering box on, and then put them 2 knuckle joints on as well. So that's the steering box all on, with all the knuckle joints, all works perfect. Just need to nip these up. And then the drop arms on as well. Just got all the switch gear and the cowling in off the Defender, it fits perfect. And then put the boss on the mounted steering wheel which he had. I think it's quite good, that actually, looks alright, that. Works perfect, even cancels the indicators both ways. So that's all good. Looks like a Defender now. Just welded that shackle up. It was all twisted and everything, which I chopped apart, so I just get some black paint on both of them now. The shackles are painted up now, satin black. All waiting for the Superflex bushes to be installed. I think it's about time to get the front axle chucked on. So just we'll get the springs on first with the shackles and the bushes. Obviously I'm going to take them blocks out what we're in, so that's about 3/4 of an inch or an inch drop on the front on the suspension. That's both front springs on. And I've got to say, them Superflex polyurethane bushes are absolutely bang on. They fit absolutely perfect, so yeah, nice one for them. Got all the axle on, that's all good, even the steering arms on. I had to put the caster wedges in as well. So it is actually only dropped by about 10mm. So that's as far as I can go for now. But she's all on anyway, so that's good. And then all the steering works and everything now as well. Look at that. Happy days. Just put the shockers on. They're the original ones. They're actually genuine Ford ones. They're actually alright, but I might upgrade to some gas shocks in the future, but I'll put them on for the time being anyway. So that's it, front axle's all done now. Got both the rear springs all wire brushed down and painted. Took the old bushes out as well, waiting for the new ones to go in when they're dry. Just stripping down the rear axle. Got the half shafts out. Got the diff out. The diff's actually good, but obviously it's not the ratio that I want. So I'll see if I can get another one. If not, worst scenario, I can use that for the time being because they're easy enough to change. Stripped down all the wheel bearings, and I had a bit of trouble getting hold of them because they're actually 5mm smaller than the ones that I could find. So anyway, I stripped them all down and I got the numbers off him, and I've actually found, they're not actually a wheel bearing kit, but I've actually found somewhere where I can get the actual bearing itself. So luckily it had the numbers on it, so they're like a twin row bearing. So I've got them on the way. Obviously I needed the seal as well, which goes in the back of here. So I managed to get the Ford part number. Couldn't get hold of a genuine Ford one, but I've got an equivalent. They're coming from France. The shoes as well, they were different than standard. I think it's because it's a Portuguese import. But I managed to cross-reference a part number off him, and it was listing them as an LDV brake shoe. But I checked them, they're all right. They're all definitely the correct ones. I've ordered them. And wheel cylinders as well. I was going to get a seal kit, but I've managed to find two, which I think they are correct, Lockheed ones. So I've got them coming as well. So all them bits are coming. Just had it draining a bit, and now I'm just going to strip down the other end of all the brakes and everything. So I've received my rear brake shoes. Look alright then, look correct. I've got to put all the self-adjusters in and all the mechanisms, etc. So I can sort that out, and then I've wire brushed all the rear axle casing and give it an etch primer. So I'm going to just paint it in black tomorrow when it's dry properly, and then I've cleaned up all the rear drums as well and give some QD90 silver a coat on them. My wheel bearings have arrived and they're all correct sizes and everything. I'm just waiting for the seals now. So I've just popped the seals out of the rotors and I just give them some extra primer, so I'll let that go off and then I'll paint them. But all the rear axles gone off now, so that's alright, so I can start building up the shoes. So like I said, I've got to get all the adjusters off, all the little clips and that, so I'll rebuild them onto the other shoes I think now. Just chucked a bit of silver over the top of that etch primer on the rotors. So I've pressed all the bearings in. I've just got to get the seal, which has not been delivered yet, so I'll wait for them. And I'm waiting for the wheel cylinder as well. Got all the mechanisms and self-adjusters swapped over to the new set of shoes, and got the diff on as well. So just wait for them few bits and then I can build it all together. I'll just give the rear shackles, U-bolts and spring brackets a quick going over with some satin black. I've got some old new stock Lockheed slave cylinders, wheel cylinders. One of them looks pretty close, but it is different, so they're a no-go. So I've stripped the original ones down anyway, and I think the seals will be alright out of the ones which I've bought, so I'm just going to rebuild them with the seals and that. I'll give them a proper measure up first, make sure they fit. But yeah, I'll obviously give these a little bit of a clean and a honing inside and that, and clean these up with 1200s and wire wool, make sure they're all mint before rebuilding. So that's both the wheel cylinders rebuilt. I couldn't get no part numbers off them, so I couldn't get the right ones. So I've just used some 1200s and some soapy water just to flat all the overspray off. I've got loads of stone chip just sort of splattered everywhere in one hit, so I've just flattened all that off and give it a quick T-cut. And then there's that bit there, that's not too bad, and that patch there and that patch there, you can't even see it really, so it's not a bad colour match. And there's a bit on the door there as well, so looks a bit better that now. Just got all the overspray off the windscreen as well, just got to clean it inside, just scraped it off with a Stanley knife blade. And then I've got all the front brake pipes on, used the existing ones actually. They went on pretty much straight away, just a little tiny bit of bending and that, so they're all good. And she's on the deck now, so got the wheels on, all the steering works and everything. So yeah, obviously it looks really high at the minute because there's no engine unboxing. So that's pretty much all the front end done, ready for dropping the engine in and the gearbox, and then obviously start fabricating both cross members. Still waiting on bits for the rear axle. I think I'll get the wiper motor and mechanism cleaned up and get that back on with the wiper arms and blades next. So I'll just give the washers for the wiper mechanism a bit of a paint. Chuck them back on there. Get it all back together. Oil seals for the rear hubs have arrived. Big enough box. So we'll get them chucked on now, I think. Just sprayed up the rear shockers because it was a bit rough. Give them a bit of etch primer first. I've found some polybush bushes which will fit, so they're just for the tops because the tops are quite worn, and they just slip over that section there. So I've just tried them, they fit perfect, so I'll use them as well. I've been doing some more rust treatment, got the old vac turn in the Schultz gun, because at the bottom of the doors, well, the driver's door was quite bad, so I've took all that back and treated it, but I've done it inside as well, so I've got it in the Schultz gun. I've done it all in there, down the bottom. Same on the passenger door, done all that as well. And then there's a little bit inside this door as well. It wasn't too bad, this one, just a little bit on the edge there, so that's not bad. And that bit of a step there, so I've treated that. And then a little bit on the back door there. This is the bit I've got to weld though, so I've chopped that section off and treated it all because I'm going to make a new section for that and weld it on. So I treated all in the side edges in there as well, all round. I know it looks rough at the minute, but it'll be alright when it goes off. And same with this door. This door's not that bad though. So a bit inside there in the edges, and same again underneath. Not too bad. So I treated that, and this door wasn't too bad. Just got it all done inside. Door bottom as well, so that'll do me for now. Mr. Murray's just rocked up to visit. Here he is.
Hey up, how are we, YouTubers?
He's come to visit Kevin the Tranny for a bit.
Hey!
Check the progress. Oh, he's bringing me goodies as well. He's a good one, isn't he?
Goodies here.
I just welded all that plate on the bottom part of that door, so I'll just clean all that off now and get it painted up and that. Just chuck some etch primer on it, so I'll let that go off. paint it. Just got a bit of body filling to do on the outside there, so I'll sand that down. On the bottom of the door here, same again. Just done a bit of filling in that, and a bit of etch primer, ready for painting. This wheel cylinder, like I say, I rebuilt them both, but I wasn't dead happy with the size of the seals I've put in out of that other Lockheed one. They just looked about 1/4 of a mil smaller, so there was a little bit slack, so I ordered another wheel cylinder. So I'll see if it's the right one, because they're hard to come by, these. I don't know, they're a bit of a funny one on this, so hopefully this is right. Don't look far out that at the minute. I'll just check the bore size, both exactly the same and the same width, just that one's a little bit wider than that one, but the fitting's exactly the same. Just tried it on, so happy days. So that's the axle all together now, ready for chucking on. So I'm gonna press the bushers in the springs and fit the poly bushers to the shackles, and then I think I'll get it on. Both the springs on now. So time to get the axle on now, I think. I've got the axle under, but because I've took the lowering blocks out, they're a good inch or so. I'm going to have to either get smaller U-bolts, which I'm not going to do, or I'm going to have to use a load of nuts as spacers. So I'll need 8 for each side, so 16 of them. Luckily I've got loads of them. And it is actually going to take 2 of them on each one. So 2 of them, and then get the normal nut on the bottom. Should be fine, that. So the axle's on. Look at that. Belting. Shockers are on. We need poly bushers in the top. Not bad, that. Worked out alright with me Land Rover wheel nuts on there to space out them U-bolts. So that's all good. And got poly them Superflex bushers in the raised shackles as well. They worked out alright. Fitted all nicely. Same again on the other side. Nice in there. So now I'm going to put the wheels on. So there we have it. Wheels are back on. First time it's been rolling in ages. Axle's all good. All the bottom of it's all good now. Shouldn't be rotting anytime soon, that. It's got all these little bits of bodywork to do, but they're all rust treated and primered ready. Got the wheels back on. Like I say, I'm going to band the wheels anyway eventually. Get them banded or do them myself, I don't know yet. Yeah, up front end's all good as well. Steering's working and everything. Up front axle's done. just got to run a brake pipe from the master cylinder to the rear axle, and then I can bleed all the brakes then. But yeah, first time it's moved in ages, that. So pretty chuffed about all that. Happy days. So I think I'll do it for this one, that. Chuffed with the progress and glad it's rolling. Next, I think I'm going to drop the engine and box in and then start doing the cross members for it. So that'll be on the next one. So if you've not watched all the others, check out the playlist. They're on the CarJunkeez YouTube channel there. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.